Hello everyone, we're going to talk about Introduction to Speech Acts. Our team is integrated by Carmen, Sarah, and I, Carolina, and let's begin. Next one, please. Thank you. Well, we're going to begin with what is speech act theory? Speech act theory is a theory that holds that the meaning of linguistic expressions can be explained in terms of the rules governing their use in performing various speech acts such as explaining, commanding, questioning, etc. Next one, please. The speech act theory considers language as sort of action rather than a medium to convey and express. Some exponents claim that the meaning of a word is nothing but its contribution to the nature of the speech acts that can be performed by using it. Next one, please. Thank you. The theory emphasizes that the utterances have a different or specific meaning to its user and listener other than its meaning according to the language. For example, let's think about a couple in a restaurant. A man asks his partner, "Will you marry me?" And the partner answers, "I will." Here the "I will" expresses the feelings, attitudes, and emotional answers towards the context. These utterances have its specific meaning only in relation to its specific context. Thank you. Next one, please.
Yes, now we'll move to the next topic, which is who is J.L. Austin from 1911 to 1916. Well, John Langshaw Austin was a professor of moral philosophy at the University of Oxford, and he made a number of contributions in various areas of philosophy, including important works on knowledge, perception, action, freedom, truth, language, and the use of language in speech acts. Austin cared about language for two main reasons. The first one is that the language use, the use of language is a central part of a human activity, so it's an important topic in its own right. And the second reason is because the study of language is an aid to the pursuit of philosophical topics. Moreover, Langshaw Austin stated that the speech act theory deals with communication in its wider sense. It does not refer to a simple information transmission, but rather it furthermore includes making promises, making apologies, decisions, threatenings, etc. Also, Austin made a huge contribution to the study of speech acts by publishing his book, How to Do Things, in the year 1962.
Thank you. And now we are going to talk about John Rogers Searle, born in 1932. Next, please. He is an American philosopher best known for his work in the philosophy of language, especially speech act theory, and the philosophy of mind. He made significant contributions to epistemology, ontology, the philosophy of social institutions, and the study of practical reason. He viewed his writings in these areas as forming a single picture of human experience and of the social universe in which that experience takes place. Next one, please. And once we know who John Searle is, we want to know what is locution, illocution, and perlocution. First, locution is the act of saying something. It has meaning for both the speakers, and it creates an understandable utterly to convey or express, for example, what, an utterance when someone is surprised. Next one, please. Then we have what is illocution. Illocution is the force of the utterance. It is when the action is equivalent to the words uttered and the speaker is performing an act, such as requesting, promising, etc. An example of illocution will be, "I promise you I will never do that again." Next, please. And then we have what is perlocution. It is the effect of the illocutionary act of the addressee. Therefore, it is the act in which getting someone to do or realize something. For instance, intention, pursuing, convincing, surprising, satisfying, etc. An example of this will be our holistic headache medication will get rid of your headache with just one pill and fewer side effects than aspirin or ibuprofen. Be good to your body and try it today. Next, please. And once we know all of this, it is important to know what are Searle's 5 illocutionary points. The first one is the representative. This is an act that represents a state of affairs, for example, stating, describing, telling, insisting, suggesting, etc. The second one is directives. This is an act for getting the addressee to do something, for example, ordering, commanding, daring, defying, and challenging. The third one is commissives. This is an act for getting the speaker, the one performing the speech act, to do something, for example, promising, intending, or vowing to do or to refrain from doing something. The fourth is expressiveness. This is an act that expresses the mental state of the speaker about an event presumed to be true. For example, congratulating, thanking, collaborating, condoling, welcoming, and apologizing. And the fifth one, the final one, we have declaration. This is an act that brings into existence the state of affairs to which it refers. For example, blessing, firing, baptizing, biting, passing sentence, and excommunicating. Next one, please.
Yes, thank you. Now we'll see what are the felicity conditions. Well, before we get into that, it is important to understand what felicity conditions are. Well, this term refers to the conditions that must be in place and the criteria that must be satisfied for a speech act to achieve its purpose. We have that taking felicity conditions into account, we can comprehend that a number of people are capable of using certain speech acts, such as declaring war, sentencing criminals, arresting someone, etc. In some other cases, the adversary must be sincere and genuine in his utterance. For example, when she or he is apologizing, bowing, promising, etc. Furthermore, the situation must be suitable and fit the utterance. For instance, we have this example, which is, can you take me? This example requires or presupposes that the adversary possesses a car. Both of the authors we saw before, Austin and Searle, stated their own felicity conditions. Well, first we have Austin's, and Austin put 3 criteria in order to judge whether an utterance is a true speech act or not. And if one or more of the conditions were violated, the performative utterance will be unfulfilled. The first is the preparatory conditions. In this, we emphasize the conventionality of the procedure together with suitable individuals and appropriate circumstances. Then we have the second condition, which is conditions for executions. The procedure must be performed correctly and completely. And the third condition is the sincerity condition. And in this, the participants must have requisite and essential thoughts, feelings, and intentions. If the effect identified, then the involved participants must perform. Now we'll see the felicity conditions that Searle stated. Well, as Austin stated that felicity conditions determine the appropriateness of an utterance, whereas Searle believed felicity conditions from necessary and sufficient environment for the performance of the act. Searle reformed and reclassified Austin's conditions of felicity and proposed 4 new ones. The first one is the prepositional content conditions. Well, these conditions identify that what can be uttered and expressed in order to perform the illocutionary act. The second one is the preparatory conditions. And in this, they recognize The contextual necessities, for example, when the addresser warns the addressee not to do a certain action, it presupposes that the action will have a bad result for the addressee. The third one is the sincerity conditions. The speaker must have belief, desire, and intention in his illocutionary act. And the fourth and last one is the essential condition. While this condition identify and determine the type of illocutionary act, it is an intended utterance by the speaker. In other words, it is in the hand of the speaker to make the addressee recognize his promise, desire, threatening, etc. And here we have a bibliography. Thank you.